In this video, I will show you how to create beats using the TLI WaveGen software. Firstly, in my first channel, I will set up a frequency of, let's say, 700 Hertz. In my second channel, I'll set up a frequency of, let's say, 720 Hertz. I'll do that by adjusting my fine control to get my frequency exactly the way I want it. Once I've got my 720 Hertz, I should be able to create beats with a 20 Hertz difference between them. I'll set the amplitudes in both channels to be the same, around 0.7. Now that I've created a sine wave in one channel and a sine wave in the other with a frequency difference of 20 Hertz, I should be able to play those and listen to my beat frequency. Okay, let's now have a look at that in our virtual crow. We'll click on our virtual crow mode. We'll adjust our time base in our virtual crow, and there we are, we can see our beats quite clearly. I'll have a look at that as my resultant at the moment. I'll click on the add button, and I will click on channel 1 and channel 2. I will now look at all three. I've now got a very complex looking waveform there. I've got my two interfering waves with a frequency of difference of 20 Hertz, and I have my beats that I've created from those as the resultant wave, which is in green. I can now zoom out a little bit by adjusting my time base. I can now switch on my panning, and I can now move through my waveform, and I can see where I am getting destructive and constructive interference. In this part, my two interfering waves, the two waves I've created in my two channels, are 180 degrees out of phase, and I can see that here I have got destructive interference occurring. As I move along, I can see my superposition taking place. As my two interfering waves come closer together and move into phase with each other, I now start to get constructive interference, and my resultant wave is the sum of those two interfering waves there. Now let's go back and we will have a look at the actual beat frequency. I can do that by adjusting my time base back out. I can move my cursors, or I'll turn my panning off first, switch to cursors, and I can now use my online cursors to be able to work out the beat frequency. It's going to be easier if I just look at the resultant on its own, and if I adjust my time base a little bit more, I can now place my cursor, say there, one cursor there, move my cursor to the other point, and now I've got my frequency. The cursors have measured the time between the two cursors, and they've taken the reciprocal of that to give me a frequency of 20 Hertz. So I can use the cursors anywhere I like along here. When I was back looking at my constructive and destructive interference pattern, I could have used my cursors there to look at the amplitude of both my interfering waves and also the amplitude of the resultant. That's fantastic. So now I can copy that graph if I wish to into Word or PowerPoint, and I'm free to do basically whatever I like with that image once I've got it. I'll just close my virtual crow and go back to my TLI WaveLab, and thank you for listening and watching that display of creating beats with the TLI WaveGen. Thank you very much.